All right, guys. Sorry I'm a little late. Computer was acting up. My internet was just all kind of weird. But this is the wrap-up show. Padres beat the Brewers tonight 6-3 and secure their third straight series win. They've also secured a winning road trip. Vibes are great right now. Everything feels really, really good. So if you're joining me tonight, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Guys, I want to make sure I got this right here. We are here on the wrap-up show, only 15 subscribers away from 6,000. 15. That's it. We need 15 subscribers to hit 6,000. And that's not all. Over on John and Jim, on our radio show YouTube page, we are 99 subscribers away from 2,000 there. So if you haven't already, go over to John and Jim show page, John and Jim 760, hit that subscribe button over there. Make sure you hit that subscribe button here. Let's get to 300 plus likes tonight on today's episode. Minimum. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we're off and running. They're playing really good baseball. They're playing really good baseball right now. And tonight, they jumped all over Wade Miley in the first inning. It was fantastic. You mean Rich wrap-up show? It's the same show, except I can say shit on this show, and I can't say shit on John and Jim. Anyway, Wade Miley tonight for the Brewers, it felt like all the Padres players were foaming at the mouth because they've all had good numbers versus Wade Miley. And I think he threw 9 pitches in the first inning. And the first 9 pitches he threw, the Padres scored 4 runs. 4 runs on 9 pitches. That's impressive. You start off the game with a Bogart single, followed by a Toddy single. Sorry. You start the game with a Bogey single, followed by a Toddy single, then a Profar bunt single, and then I believe Manny, I think he struck out, and then Ha-Seong Kim. Or no, Manny, what did he do? No, he got an RBI. Sorry. I think a ground out. And then Ha-Seong Kim, 3-run home run. So right there, you get 4 runs right away. That's right. He hit off Wade's knee. That's right. More luck for the Padres. Anyway, 4 runs in the first inning, 4 runs in the first 9 pitches. And that was essentially the ball game. And they won 6-3. And we'll talk about Dylan Cease, but this offense continues to score runs at a high clip. Even without Jake Cronenworth in the lineup today, you had Eggy Rosario in there, you had Jose Zokar in there, and you still managed to get 6 runs across the plate. It's impressive, guys. It's what they're doing right now is impressive. It feels like they're gaining some momentum here that was built off of last week's come from behind victory against the Cubs. You had that coupled with a 10-run outing on Wednesday afternoon where they won their first series of the year. You go to Dodger Stadium. You have another come from behind victory on Friday night. Saturday night, the whole irrelevant quote after the game. And then you get Sunday's game where Jurickson Profar is the hero. You roll into Milwaukee, a Milwaukee team, by the way, that has been playing really good baseball this year. And you win the first 2 games of that series. Yesterday, didn't have that great of a pitching performance from Joe Musgrove, even though he did give you 6 innings and had a quality outing. It felt like he was just battling a lot to get through 6, and that's great. That's exactly what you need. And that's another come from behind victory for this team, scoring 6 runs there in the middle of that game. And then today, getting on the board early, scoring 4 runs, that's the game. So they're just playing really good baseball right now. Toddy had 3 hits tonight. You know, Hassan Kim with the 3-run home run. I thought Jackson Merrill, even though he went 0 for tonight, he did put together some good at bats. He had that RBI, beat out a would-be double play there in the 7th inning. Not the greatest with runners in scoring position tonight, only 4 for 15. But overall, they got the win and they scored 6 runs. If you're going to tell me they go 4 for 15 with runners in scoring position, you know, you might say like, "Oh, that's not great," but scoring 6 runs, that's what matters. And that's the best thing that they could do. So, they're just playing really good baseball. I love what they're doing. And being 11-9 on the year. At this point last season, they were 9-11. Getting out to a good start, having a good road trip here, having an off day tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but on Thursday, and then back home versus Toronto, Colorado on the road, and you finish up the month with Philly at home, and then Cincinnati at home as well. And if you're sitting up here and you're a couple games over 500 after the first month of the year, that's exactly what we asked for. Exactly what we asked for. So, if you want to send in a super chat to get your questions answered, send in a super chat. They're greatly appreciated. We'll also get to some in the chat as well. I know we have over 230 plus people in the chat right now. So if you're in the chat, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you want to become a member, become a member. And we have special emojis. If you're already a member, you can use special emojis that John put in recently. So you can do that. Let's start off with James here. Thanks for the super chat, James. Hold on a second here. All right. James, thanks for the super, buddy. Says, still waiting for Cease to get rocked, like Dan Clark said would happen on Twitter. I'm glad Dan Clark is wrong and Cease is good. Hashtag go Padres. Hashtag Cease. Yeah, first up, Dylan Cease is this team's ace. He is their best pitcher. He has been fantastic this season for them so far. He is out there giving you quality start after quality start. He's not giving you only 2 or 3 innings. And for me, the best part about tonight with Dylan Cease, what I loved to see from him, I loved it. His pitch count was getting high there in the 6th inning. And it looked like they were going to take him out. Either they made a signal to him or he saw Schulte about to walk out of the mound. And all you saw from Dylan Cease was just like, no, I got it. Shoot off whoever was about to go out there. I think it might have been Schulte. And because I was doing some stuff, I was listening to the game on the radio and I just heard it. And I saw a replay. And he proceeds to get out of the inning with a strikeout. And that's just like, all right. You love to see that. He's their best pitcher. He's their ace. And the great thing is, he's their ace right now. He could be their ace all year. Joe Musgrove could be their ace. Yu Darvish could be their ace. They have 3 guys that could step up in that number 1 role and be that stopper or their number 1 or whatever it may be. And right now it's Dylan Cease. He has been great for this team. He has a sub-2 ERA. He's not piling up a bunch of walks, 5 walks today. Yeah, okay. Maybe that's a lot. But his whip is below 1. His whip is 0.93. I mean, you have a below 1 whip, you're doing pretty well. So yeah, he's been fantastic. He's been absolutely fantastic. Great trade by Preller. I don't understand why people, when this trade went down, was saying that he's not an ace. I mean, look what you're watching right now. This guy's pitching great. He might not be dominant Cy Young, but I mean, in 22 and 2/3 innings pitched, a 1.99 ERA with a sub 1 whip, 27 strikeouts. Yeah, that's pretty like ace-like stuff to me. So whoever was out there before the season started and when the Dylan Cease trade went down and was like, yeah, he's not an ace. And you know who you are because there was a bunch of him in this chat kind of coming at me like, oh, he's not an ace. He is a bona fide stud. And guys like Dan Clark You should not listen to low-life losers looking for cheap. I mean, I shouldn't say that because I like to get cheap likes on Twitter. But this guy is the epitome of what is it? No shame loser. And he is irrelevant. Don't ever listen to that fool. He's a clown. He has like 50,000 people following him because he buys Twitter followers. He's a joke. Don't ever listen. I don't even know if he's a real person. I don't even know if Dan Clark is a real person. So, James, please, and all you out there, don't ever listen to that fucking loser has to say on that social media site ever. He's irrelevant. He's irrelevant. But thanks for the super. Caleb, thanks for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate it, man. He says, what do you think about Solano pickup? Do you think we still need to make a trade for a DH now? Also, congrats on getting married. Thank you, Caleb. Not married yet. The wedding is in a little over a month, May 25th. Ironically, it's when Juan Soto returns to San Diego, but you know, I didn't make the schedule for the Padres. I think the Donovan Solano pickup could be a good depth piece. It's a veteran that, you know, was coming off a pretty decent year last year. I want to say with the Twins, let me look it up. I want to say he was pretty good with the Twins last season. Let me just make sure. Yeah, he was fantastic. 134 games played, a 282 average with a 760 OPS. I mean, this guy has played 10 years in the bigs. He's on the older side, 35 years old, but he's a career 280 hitter. His last 5 seasons in the major leagues. All right. Listen to this. Since 2019. Okay. Since 2019, Donovan Solano has, it's not showing me, but he's hit 282 last year, 284 in 2022, 280 in 2021, 326 in 2020, and 330 in 2019. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm sure at some point he will be up with the big league club, which might be sooner than later, depending on the health of Jake Cronenworth here. But I think it's a solid pickup. It's kind of like a, pickup that's not going to really hurt you if it doesn't work out. And if it works out, then it's like you found, a needle in a haystack. And even then, I think Donovan Solano, if you look at his numbers, why wouldn't a team want to have him on their roster or on their bench or whatever? Like, he's just put together professional at-bats after professional at-bats. And if you're telling me you get a guy that hit 282 last year with 700 plus OPS, I think 760 OPS, yeah, you take him. He might become their DH once Manny returns to the field, which I could totally see happening. But if not, then yeah, Preller's going to go out there, depending on how this team performs, depending on if this team is in contention at the deadline, he'll go pick up another bat. He will. He's proven that he'll go out and he'll add to a roster that he thinks is going to make the postseason. And so yeah, he'll go get a bat. Thanks for the super chat. E-Racing with Dale says, obviously super early, but love how this team is performing. Feels good to be a Padre fan right now. Most players contributing. Thanks at Jim. Thanks for you, E-Racing with Dale, for the super chat. It's this is the type of stretch that I was asking for. Play consistently good baseball. You're going to have a couple clunkers, like Saturday night. Okay. That was a clunker. Last Tuesday, that was a clunker. But I mean, you have a stretch here where you win you just keep winning series. All right. You've now won 6 of your last 8. Even if they lose tomorrow, successful road trip in my book. It's now greedy time, in my opinion. Go out there, get the sweep. But they've accomplished what they wanted to accomplish and what every Padres fan wanted them to accomplish, which is having a winning road trip. If you lost 2 or 3 to the Dodgers, but then swept the Brewers, 4-2 road trip, you take it. You win 2-3 from both the Dodgers and Brewers, winning road trip, you take it. Now you win tomorrow morning, and you have a 5-1 road trip. I mean, fantastic. Got to get there first, but so far, so good. I think everything that they're doing right now is what winning baseball teams do. They're putting up a bunch of runs. They are pitching really well. They are having come from behind victories. They are giving you power. They're coming up in clutch moments. They're, coming up with runners in scoring position, and more often than not, getting a run home or multiple runs home. They're putting a ton of pressure on the opposing pitcher. I mean, a ton of pressure. And that's great to see. You love to see that. Fantastic. Thanks for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate it. 619 Cam says another good team win. Let's get the sweep tomorrow. Hopefully Crony is okay. And do you think we will see Solano in the Blue Jays series? Hashtag LFGSD. Yeah, hopefully they get the sweep tomorrow. A sweep would cap off a dream road trip to start your season. But even if they don't get the sweep tomorrow, it's still a very successful winning road trip. And that's all you ask for whenever you go on the road. Can you get either 500 or, have a winning road trip? That's what you do in the bigs. That is, when you go on road trips, the goal is to come home and have a winning road trip. 4-2 absolutely accomplishes that. 5-1, man, you go into that off day and you feel really good about this team. I mean, shit, you already feel really good about this team right now with what they're doing and how they're performing. So, yeah, get greedy, man. I want this team to get greedy. I want them to come home with a 5-1 road trip, and that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. But going into this game, diving in a little deeper here, if you want to look at some things that weren't on the positive side, Adrian Morejon, he started out well, and then he gave up 3 straight hits. But overall, he's been really good for this team. Johnny Brito gives up another run in his outing. But that's pretty much. And then they had the bases loaded there a couple times, but they should have scored more runs this game. It should have been like a 10-3 game. They had so many opportunities. They had so many chances to just really blow this team out tonight, and they didn't. But it didn't matter, because at the end of the day, scoring 6 runs is fantastic. So, Hideki Matsui continues to be freaking amazing for this team. He came in, tough situation, bases loaded, strikes out old friend Gary Sanchez. Wandy Peralta, again, you got 2 guys at the back of your bullpen with a sub-1 ERA. Awesome. And Yuki's been used a lot. He has been the workhorse of this bullpen, most appearances in the big leagues, and he's proven that he belongs. He's proven that he can be a guy that you trust. He's proven that he's a guy that you can put into a tight situation, and he has been proven that if you need to give Robert Suarez a night off, he'll probably be the next man up. But right now, the way they're using Yuki Matsui is beautiful. They're using him as the closer before the closer. They need to get a big out, they put in Yuki Matsui. They need to have a bridge to Suarez, they put in Yuki Matsui. So he's been fantastic, and he's a big reason why they are where they are right now. Maybe my tweet about the bullpen being top 5 in baseball might come true, because I don't have the bullpen stats in front of me. But overall, you take out Brito's numbers and maybe Kolek here and there. Wandy Peralta, fantastic. Hideki Matsui, amazing. Adrian Morejon's been fine. He's been fine. And until tonight, he was really good. De Los Santos has been really good. You have Tom Cosgrove, Tommy, besides his blow up inning there in LA, he's been really good. I think I mentioned Swery. He's been fantastic. It's been really, it's just all good right now, especially the bullpen, because that's going to have to be a strength. That's what I said to start the season. I'm like, if the bullpen's a strength for this team, which I predicted it was going to be, and if you get Robert Suarez back to that dominant 2022 Robert Swery, then that bullpen can be a real weapon for you. You know, and I know we're getting super far down the road. I understand it. But once the playoffs hopefully come around for this team, hopefully, you know, you add Michael King to that bullpen during a postseason a run, like then it's like, okay, this is really good. This is really good. But as of right now, what the bullpen is doing, it's a real strength of this team. It's a part of this team that I think Schulte relies on a lot. And when you have the faith that he does in these guys and they're rewarding him with really good outings, it makes life that much easier for the manager of this team. So it's been great. Let's get back to some supers here. Murray, thanks for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate it. He says, I know it was yesterday, but I just wanted to say thank you, Jackie, for enduring all the hate so everyone can enjoy this game of baseball. Yes, Jackie Robinson Day was yesterday. Not only one of the most iconic players in the history of the sport, but one of the most important players in the sport. Without him, baseball's is not where it's at today. So it's rightfully deserved that he has a day dedicated to him in baseball. And yeah, without him, you don't get the game that you all love today, that we all love today. So one of, if not the most important players in the history of the game. But thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it, buddy. The Jake Cronenworth thing, I see a lot of people in the chat talking about Jake Cronenworth. It looks like it's just day to day with him. And I wouldn't be too worried about it because they didn't put him on the IL right away. And with tomorrow, they'll probably have him rest tomorrow. And then you have an off day. And then you get back to Petco. If he's not playing by at least Saturday, then it's an IL stint probably. And then we'll probably see Donovan Solano up here. But, you know, even with Jake out of the lineup tonight, still scoring 6 runs, it's a good sign. It's a good sign. And when you have Toddy going 3 for 4, putting pressure on, you have Manny Machado in the lineup still. You have Hassan Kim swinging the bat a little better. I think that, you know, while losing Crony is going to hurt because defensively he's been awesome for this team this year. If they're still going to put up 6 runs with him out of the lineup, I mean, okay. Michael says, Jim, maybe you should do the show by yourself. Padres win when John is out, I think you're trying to say. Yeah, okay. But did I say Hideki Matsui? Did I say Hideki Matsui or Yuki Matsui? Am I an idiot? Did I say Hideki? You guys know what I meant. It's Yuki Matsui. I think I might have had like Hideki Matsui in my mind because of the stupid Dodger thing, like Ohtani passing Hideki Matsui for most home runs. I did say Hideki. I said both. Sorry, Yuki Matsui. My bad. Yuki Matsui, not Hideki. Yuki. Sorry. Yes, Jim's an idiot. Thank you. If you're a member of John and Jim, you can put Jim's an idiot in the chat. It's okay. But I am your idiot. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, all good right now in Padres land. Padres are playing good baseball. This team is fun to watch. You don't feel dread with this team right now at this point in the season. Um, even if they're trailing in games, you feel like they can come back. And that's a good feeling to have if you're a fan. Because the worst thing is what we all experienced last year is it's like, oh, game's over, or they lose. Or you always expect the worst. You always expect the worst. And right now, you don't expect that. You expect things to go their way. You expect them to come up with the clutch hit. You expect them to make the big pitch to get the big out in the big moment, you know? And that's a fun feeling to have. That is a fun feeling to have if you're a Padres fan right now. Will this last throughout the entire season? I don't know. I'm not going to say that it will. I'm not going to say that it won't. But as of right now, the last week of Padres baseball has been, I would argue, the most fun stretch of baseball since the 2022 playoffs. Because I don't remember a stretch of baseball last year that was fun for this team. I don't count the end of the season because that thing was over with. Those were all very hollow wins, even though they missed the postseason by 2 games. This stretch of baseball that they're playing right now, and put in the chat, do you agree with me? Do you agree that this last week of Padres baseball, starting with their comeback on Monday night, last Monday versus the Cubs, as a fan, has that been this past week the most fun that you've had as a fan since 2022, the postseason versus the Dodgers? Or was there a time last year when you had equal amount of fun? Because this team was did not have a stretch like this, I feel like, all last year. It's been promising. You're right. It's been a promising stretch. It's been a promising week here for the Padres. And I view it as the most fun. I mean, I've been doing shows for the last 4 years, 5 years, for Padres wrap-up shows, and I've watched every single one of these games or listened to every one of every one of these games. And it just feels like it feels different, which is nice. And it does it. I mean, I haven't seen this anywhere, but I'll go out on a limb and say that the last week stretch has been the most encouraging in over a year, right? Sarah says that last year was fun until May 6th. May 5th was the win over the Doyers, followed by crying meme scoreboard, and that was the beginning of the downfall. Okay. So basically, the last week of Padres baseball has been the most fun since the start of last season. Okay. I'll go with that. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Because I do remember they beat that Dodgers team on that Friday night. And you're like, okay, I think they're a couple games over 500. And then the crying meme happened. And again, I still don't have a problem with it, but it's a little reminiscent of like what happened on Saturday night with the irrelevant comment from Will Smith, because that almost, I guess, lit a fire underneath the Padres. I'm not saying that like they needed it, but they all were very aware of those comments. They can tell you they weren't. They were very aware. And so it's a kind of little like role reversal, right? Last year, you have the crying meme. And while the Dodgers said they weren't aware of it or not aware of it, but it didn't bother them or affect them, we all know it did. And then they lose that series. And then this year, just last weekend, the Mr. Irrelevant comment, and the Padres end up winning the series versus the Dodgers. So interesting how those things happen. Rich, you say that sweeping the Rangers was pretty sweet. Yeah, it was sweet, but it was only sweet because it was a sweep. It in hindsight actually sucked because it in then turn caused this team to think that they had a shot and turn into buyers at the deadline instead of sellers, which they should have been. And they should have traded Blake Snell, and they should have traded Josh Hader, so they could have gotten pieces back for them that could help the team this year. But they didn't, and it was fool's gold, and they thought they were something when they weren't. Yeah, Murray says we were swept in Milwaukee last year. It's a different team, Jim. Yeah, they went 1-6 versus the Brewers last year. 1-6. And it felt like every single game they had no shot. Every single game, the Brewers just jumped all over the Padres. And to the first two games this year versus the Brewers, different story. Today, the Padres jumped all over the Brewers. Yesterday, the come from behind victory. You know, you had that dread when they go down 3-0 and you're like, oh, shit, here we go again versus the Brewers. But they had that comeback victory and then win today, jumping all over them in the first inning. It's definitely a great sight to see. All right, let's get to. Hold on here. Stand by. Our good buddy Mark Nimitz. Without Mark Nimitz, this wrap-up show literally does not happen. Because of him, we are doing a wrap-up show tonight with over 300 plus people watching at 9, 10, 12 at night. Mark Nimitz, our title sponsor. If you have any insurance needs, if you have auto insurance, if you have life insurance, if you have homeowners insurance, and you need somewhere to go to help you out, Mark Nimitz is your man. Go to him. He's a lifelong Padres fan. You can talk Padres baseball with him while getting insurance from him. All his information is on the ticker below. mnimitz@farmersagent.com. That's mnimitz@farmersagent.com. When you reach out to our buddy Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the wrap-up show sent you. All right. So that, and do that. Okay, cool. Let me do a check to see where we're at. Guys, when I last checked, we were 18 subscribers away from 6,000. Sorry, we were 15 subscribers away from 6,000. And right now, we are 10 subscribers away from 6,000. All right. 10 subscribers is all it is. There's 300 plus people watching. If you guys are all subscribed, fantastic. Love you. Me and John appreciate you so much. But if you're not, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on this video. We're trying to get to 300 plus likes for tonight's show. All right. Let's see here. I mean, this game tonight, it was. What else you guys want to talk about this game? Because right now, they're just. Oh, sorry, HBPPPBZPPJJJJJ. My bad. Thanks for the super, buddy. Underestimated Schulte, Profar, Kim, Merrill, season savers. Well, yeah, I mean, right. I wouldn't say season savers, but Profar has been fantastic. I've been saying fantastic a lot tonight. I'm sorry. Profar has been really good. Kimmy has been really good. Actually, I take that back. I'm thinking about what he did last year. Defensively has been kind of an adventure when you didn't think it was going to be an adventure for Ha-Seong Kim. His bat, he's still getting going. The home run was great tonight. Maybe this is just a slow start type of thing that Kim goes through, because last year he was even worse in the month of April. Go look up the numbers. They were god awful. And then he put together a really solid season, playing really good baseball in the following 3 months. So this month compared to last year's first month for Ha-Seong Kim, when everyone said last year was an amazing year for Ha-Seong Kim, look at the numbers. He was dreadful last April. I think he had like a 550 OPS, and it was not good. But right now, Ha-Seong Kim, you know, the average is still kind of low, but he has a 792 OPS with 3 home runs and 12 RBIs and 4 stolen bases. So in 71 at bats, look, He's had, for maybe his standards, a little down month, but it's getting better. He's swinging the bat better. He's still putting up numbers. To have almost an 800 OPS in for him, that's great. Defense, I'm not going to be worried about his defense, really. I just am not. Even though he has 4 errors on the year, I trust him. He's better than that. He knows he's better than that. And overall, I trust Ha-Seong Kim wholeheartedly at shortstop for this team. So yeah, Kim's been good. And then Jackson Merrill. I had this conversation today on John and Jim. By the way, go subscribe to John and Jim. John and Jim 760 on YouTube, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. San Diego Sports 760. I argued this today, and I'll stand by it. I'm perfectly fine doing that. I know Trio for Milwaukee has been really good, and he's also 20 years old. But what Jackson Merrill has been doing for this team, and as a 20-year-old rookie, I would argue that he has been the most impressive rookie this year. Michael Busch of the Cubs, okay, he's got 6 home runs. Amaga, I think that's who it is. The pitcher for the Cubs hasn't even, I don't think, given up a run at all. Those guys are 26 and 30 years old. When you're 20 years old, 20, and Trio for the Brewers was this highly, highly rated prospect. Jackson Merrill was a high-rated prospect as well, but he wasn't even the number 1 prospect in the organization. That's Ethan Salas. What Jackson is doing at 20 years old, the at-bats that he's putting together, tonight wasn't the best night for Jackson Merrill. You saw Pat Murphy really acknowledging by the moves that he made in front of Jackson that, okay, this guy's a threat. By going to the bullpen, bringing in a special lefty for Jackson Merrill, like, that's respect. That's respect. And when you have opposing managers, bringing in special pitchers for you in big moments, that is what we call respect. And that's exactly what's happening because of how he's performing. And through the first month of the season so far, at least through April 16th here, right? I mean, dude's hitting 333 with an 821 OPS. Who name me somebody that's been more impressive? Oh, and by the way, he's been fantastic. There's the word again. Everybody drink. He's been great in the outfield. He makes all the right plays. His route running is really good. And you have not lost a step at all in center field defensively from Trent Grisham, who was a Gold Glover multiple time, to Jackson Merrill. That's a credit to Jackson when you don't even notice a dip defensively in center field coming off of a guy that is a Gold Glover. That's impressive. That's really impressive. Yeah, they don't need Trent. They didn't need Trent Grisham. I argued for so long how this team just didn't need Trent Grisham. Like, they could upgrade him in a second with literally anybody, but yet they continue to trot him out there. Thankfully, he's gone. Okay. And as of right now, thankfully, Jackson Merrill is proving the Padres right. He is proving them right by, his play, and they gave him a shot. It was a risky play. I'm sorry. It just was. It was risky to start a 20-year-old at the big league level with very little time in Double-A. And not only that, play a different position that he's never played before, ever. Very risky. I mean, he's answering he's checking off all the boxes. He's passing all the tests. And you couldn't be happier because it's been a long time. Since the Padres actually brought up a rookie and then developed him position player wise and then have him stick. It still could go horribly for Jackson Merrill. This could be the stretch. He went 0 for tonight. This could be a stretch of him going 0 for his next 25. Knock on wood, he doesn't. But my point is, just because his first 63 at bats in the big leagues to me has been the most impressive of any rookie in all of baseball, and especially because he's 20 years old, doesn't mean that he's going to be this guy for his entire career. We still have to wait and see. Talk to me after 200 at bats. After 200 at bats, then we'll know a little bit more. Not the whole story, not everything. It won't be definitive in stone. You don't really get a true understanding of a baseball player until about their, till they're 1,000 at bats in the big leagues. But you trust him. You feel confident right now with him because of his plate appearances. His at bats are all solid. And you just kind of just let him develop. Let him go. Lisa, I don't know. I'm not going to say Tatis 2.0 because Tatis, that would mean he'd be an MVP player. I don't see that with Jackson. I just see a solid, really good baseball player. I don't see a guy that can get you 40 home runs. I don't. That's not discrediting Jackson Merrill at all. It's just I don't think he's a 40 home run guy. Tatis is a 40 home run guy. Tatis is a 950 to 1,000 OPS guy. Tatis is a 30-30 guy. Hell, he could even be a 40-40 guy. I don't envision Jackson being that. I envision Jackson Merrill being potentially a high average, makes all the right plays, plays good defense in center field, 10 to 15, maybe later in his career, 15 to 20 type of home run guy. He's got the speed so he can get you 20 plus stolen bases in a season. But we're just going to have to see and wait. Like, let him develop. See what he truly is going to be. Like just how we're trying to figure out what this identity of this team is, even though the last week has made you happy if you're a Padres fan for about what the identity of this team could be, which kind of feels like a team that's never going to quit, always going to fight. When they're trailing in games, they're not going to give up. They're just going to score a bunch of runs. And that'd be a nice identity to have for this team. So let's get back to some super chats here. SJL Stevens, thanks for the super sticker, buddy. I can't see it here, but thank you. Damien, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. It says you could see a huge sigh of relief from Campy after his hit. You can see his body language that something seems off. Yeah, he's struggling a little bit. No doubt about it. But still hitting 273 on the season. He's 1 for 4 tonight with that RBI. The catching spot has been light years better than what they got last year from Austin Nola. Like, this team legitimately had Austin Nola playing behind the plate for what seemed like forever. I mean, like, what? If Campusano gives you anything offensively, it feels like a big major win. And he's giving you more than plenty offensively. This is his first full true season as the primary catcher for this team. You got to remember that. Also, without looking, do you know how many career at bats Luis Campusano has in the big leagues right now? Yes. 314. He has 314 career at bats in the big leagues. And it feels like he's been around forever. So he's still a guy that needs to be developed. And he's still developing. I mentioned Jackson Merrill. You sometimes forget that Campy is a homegrown guy along with Jackson. Like they got 2 homegrown guys in this lineup right now. And they're both doing well. That's fun to watch. Hassan Kim, he's not a homegrown guy, but he was identified by this team. So the young talent is performing. That's all you wanted as a Padres fan. That's all you guys wanted. It's all everybody had asked for is like, can we get guys that have developed through the system and they can come up and contribute? Well, that's what they're getting right now. And I've been as critical on AJ Preller as anybody you'll know. This is a make or break season for him, in my opinion. I still stand by that, even though they're playing really good baseball right now. It's not all like, forgiven yet. Like you still have to make the postseason. Still the moves that he makes at the deadline, whatever that is, right? So far so good, but look, his track record has not been good with developing talent, position player talent. Tatis is a unicorn. And some signings, maybe a lot, have not really worked out. Some have, some haven't. Some trades have worked out, some trades haven't. Dylan Cease trade looks like to be a fantastic one. The Profar signing of 1 year, $1 million looks to be a great one so far. But this to me feels like the first time truly in the last decade that you have multiple homegrown players in a lineup. And not just here because they want to see what they can do and they're not a team that has visions of making the postseason. Like, no, this team has visions of making the postseason and going deep into the postseason. You don't trade for Dylan Cease for nothing. So for the first time in like a decade that AJ Preller's been here, you have homegrown talent contributing in the lineup for a winning baseball team. That's pretty cool. Better late than never, but blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. And sometimes you just don't ask questions and you just let it happen. Just let it happen. Let's check here, guys, real quick. Hold on. All right, we are 8 subscribers away from 6,000. I don't think I'm going to stop this stream tonight until we get to 6,000 subscribers. So either I'll be here for a long time or, we can have a regular show and we can get to 6,000 subscribers together. That'd be awesome. And then if you haven't already, go subscribe to our John and Jim show. We are less than 100 away from 2,000 subscribers over there. John and Jim 760. Go hit the subscribe button. If you go to our wrap-up show profile, you can find a link to that page there. Hit the subscribe button there, and we'll be all good to go. But yeah, we are now 5 away from 6,000. 5 away. So we have to get it on tonight's stream. 300 plus people in the chat. We need 5 more subscribers to hit 6,000. So that's going to have to happen tonight, guys. It's going to have to happen tonight. In the meantime, let me pull up here our buddies and partners at Aura. www.ora.organic. They have everything you need to live a healthy lifestyle, the healthy lifestyle that you crave. If you're wondering, how do you start? Where do you go? How do I get some good supplements? Go to Aura right now, www.ora.organic. They have everything you need. They have the probiotics, the sleep pills. They have the fish oil pills. They have the pre-workouts, the post-workout protein powder, all of it. Go there right now, www.ora.organic. Pick up some supplements, and you will thank us later. Yeah, see, here's the thing. I don't know how to pull up a YouTube sub counter. One, because of the software that I'm using, I don't think allows me to do that. And two, because of that, I'd have to get completely new software. So I don't know how to do that. And yeah. Anyway. Yeah, just do it, people. Come on, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Okay. I mean, pretty much hit on everything tonight. First inning was great. Jumped all over the Brewers. They took advantage of Wade Miley, which they had to. All right, we're 4 away from 6,000. 4 away, guys. I'm not going anywhere. 4 more people. 4 more subscribers. We're at 6,000. The first inning, really good. Ha-Seong Kim, that 3-run home run, 4 runs in 9 pitches, things you love to see. Dylan Cease was great tonight. Bullpen came in, a little bit of a hiccup with Morehone there, but Matsui shut the door. Peralta finished it off, and scoring 6 runs feels great. I mean, you score 6 runs every game, you're going to win a lot of baseball games. I do know what I want to get to. And I ranted about this on John and Jim today during the game as it was happening. And I have the free space on the wrap-up show to not hold back. So I'm not going to hold back. Angel Hernandez is the worst fucking umpire / referee in any major sport in the world. In the entire world. Name me a worse umpire than Angel Hernandez. I'll wait because you can't. He is the biggest piece of shit umpire that you'll ever see. He is smug. He thinks he's better than you. He thinks he's always right. Half the time he's guessing on shit. And more often than not, he affects games in the worst way possible. I literally hate him. I think he is the absolute worst part of baseball, bar none. When I think of baseball and you talk about the worst things in baseball, Angel Hernandez is close to the top of this list. Thank God that the sport is going to be going to robot umpires here soon within the next couple years, because they're already doing it at the AAA level, or the minor league level, excuse me, not AAA, but they're already doing it at the minor league level. And this guy will soon, praying soon, he will be without a job, because nobody in the world is as bad as Angel Hernandez is at his job and still is employed. Like, if I was that bad at radio or YouTube or whatever, which I'm not saying I'm great, but like, I know what I'm doing. If I was that bad, and I know people that are bad at radio, and I've heard it, and I've heard cringe radio. I've heard bad YouTube channels. I've had uninteresting YouTube. I've listened to uninteresting YouTube channels. I've watched people, and if I was that bad, as bad as Angel Hernandez is at his job, I should not be employed at iHeart, or I shouldn't be doing a YouTube channel. None of it. But this fucking clown gets chance after chance after chance, because the union is, the baseball umpires union is impenetrable. He is the head of that union for whatever reason. He has sued baseball before over defamation or discrimination one time. Well, guess what? You suck at your job. You suck at your job. And I see you in the chat, Fred. Let it go. Let go of your hate. He's not worth it. Here's the thing. When the day he is umpiring a game and it costs the Padres a game, you all feel the same way. You will all be in here in the chat losing your minds. Yes, Doug Eddings is god-awful, but Angel Hernandez runs laps around Doug Eddings as far as being the worst umpire in the sport goes. By far. He is miles ahead of Doug Eddings. Miles. And that's probably being generous. He's probably so far in front of Doug Eddings, you can't even see Angel Hernandez in your sights. It's like if Doug Eddings was Earth, okay, Angel Hernandez is as far as Pluto as far as being the worst umpire in the entire sport. He's just, I mean, there was a couple of at-bats tonight where, and it goes both ways. It helped the Padres out some, but it also didn't help the Padres out. And thank God this game wasn't a close game and wasn't decided by Angel Hernandez, and it wasn't a situation where, you know, it affected the game where he throws a couple of people out because he's a giant dickhead, and he can't handle, curse words, or he calls a stupid like violation or whatever, right? Yeah, thank God it didn't happen tonight. But I tell you what, the second that like piece of shit umpires out of this league, the better. Seriously, the better. The better for the sport, the better for it all. There might be some players out there that respect Doug Eddings, but to me, zero respect. Because when you're that bad at your job, and we'll get the report, I think either tomorrow or the day after, probably tomorrow, from the umpire Twitter account, right? It will show that he was awful tonight, that he was awful. So that's my rant on Angel Hernandez. I needed to get it out of my system because I think he is the worst, and I hate him. He's bad for the game. He's bad for the sport in general. And the sooner that he is gone from the sport, the better off the sport will be. Plain and simple. Johnny, yeah, Padres have won 5 of the last 6. Is that good? I've checked, and it's very good. It is very good. Jim, you want me to create a fake account? No, I don't want fake accounts. You don't have to create any. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We don't buy subscribers. We don't buy likes. We don't buy anything here on the wrap up show. It's all organic. It's all real. And yes, we might pander a little bit. We might beg a little bit for your support, but we do not on the wrap up show or John and Jim or my account or John's account or the John and Jim show account buy subscribers or create extra accounts to bump up our sub count. So we are 2 away from 6,000, guys. We are 2 away from 6,000. Don't worry, I see the supers. I see some supers here. Getting to some supers here. Run it back. Thanks for the super. It says Campy's stance is terrible. He's always rushing. Well, I mean, run it back. He's hitting 273 on the year. He's been pretty good at the plate. It's a timing thing. Like his high leg kick, the foot in the bucket, like that's a timing stance. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's not like he's in this mass. It's not like he's hitting 091. If he's hitting 091, then yeah, we were talking about maybe changing some things. But so far, so good. I'm not going to complain about it. He's getting good production. He's calling good games around the plate. When you're a catcher, catching puts a toll on your body. It just does. And I think offensively right now, he's been really good. Nick, thanks for the super. Feels like I counted 20 plus missed calls tonight. Angel Hernandez is the worst I've ever seen. Yeah. There was one at bat that I lost it on today when I was on the radio. And it was 3 straight pitches that were all called incorrectly. It was a ball down in the zone that was clearly a ball called a strike. And I think even Dylan Cease was pitching. And and then another pitch that was inside by about 6 inches that was a ball called a strike. And then a ball at the letters that was a ball called a strike. And then a ball in the outside corner that was a strike that was called a ball. I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I mean, if you just listen to the broadcast, and I didn't get to listen to much of it tonight, but listening to some of the playback, like hearing hearing Mud and Jesse just in their own way making fun of Angel Hernandez for every missed call. You know, after the game or between innings, it's like this fucking guy, loser, stupid umpire. Yeah, missed a bunch of calls. HBBB, JBCZ, BGBBB, JJJJ. Thanks for the super. Won 2,000 on fantasy using your code Mookie Eats Corn. Dude, that's awesome. And that is a great segue. That is a fantastic segue to Underdog Fantasy. It is the best, easiest, most fun app to use in the game to win money. You can win 20 times your money in a single night. You can win 50 times your money in a single night. You could win as much as 100 times your money in a single night. You don't have to bet a bunch of big money to win big money. You can have a 5-for-5 play that could equal up to 100 times your money, and you could win big. You see it right there. Promo code PODSWRAP. Sign up right now. Underdog Fantasy, download the app. Your first $100 deposited will be matched. You can deposit $50. You get another $50 there. If you don't want to go $100 right away, and then you can do $50 later, that will get matched. Or you can do $100. You get $100 matched there. Or if you want to go big, you get $200. Boom, you get another $100 there. So look, Underdog Fantasy, it's super addicting. It's super fun. You can do in-game live bets. You can do, obviously, we can bet on the Padres here for tomorrow, higher or lower. Like if I'm just going to the Underdog Fantasy app, I don't have it on my screen here, but like John, but if I just go to the Underdog Fantasy app, right? And I go, you can play any sport. You can play multiple sports. You can play NBA with Major League Baseball, along with NHL, PGA Tour, FIFA. Like they have everything you need. If I go tomorrow for the Padres game, all right, Padres Brewers in the morning. Michael King, okay, higher or lower than 5.5 strikeouts. Let's just go higher than 5.5 strikeouts, all right. And that's the only play right now for there. But if I go to the Dodgers game, Ohtani, higher or lower than 2 total bases? Lower. Sucks. Let's go to, where is he at? I'll go with, it's not there. I'll go NBA. Tomorrow, the playing game. I'll go Jimmy Butler. Will he score more than 23.5 points? Sure. Higher. All right. Bam Adebayo. Is he going to get a double-double tomorrow? Yes. Is Joel Embiid going to score higher than 30 points? I'm going to say no on that one. So that right there, I can win 16 times my money. I just bet $15. I can win $240 with those plays right there. It's easy. It's simple. It's fun. Go download the app right now. Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Get your first $100 deposited, matched. Have some fun. And I want everyone out there to go win some big money. All right. Let's get to some more supers here. JD Gaucho, thank you. Warriors draft Bronny, trade LeBron. Trade for LeBron, right, Jim? I don't even want to. I'll talk about the Warriors tomorrow on John and Jim. If you want to listen to me talk about the Warriors tomorrow, I'm not going to shit on them too much because, dynasties should be remembered and they should be respected. And every NBA fan should be thanking the Warriors right now for the last 10 years. Because without Steph Curry, you see it, ratings suck. Same thing with LeBron. If he's not in it, ratings suck. And the NBA is kind of in a little weird spot right now without those two guys. I know LeBron's in the playoffs with the 7 seed and facing the Nuggets, but man, the NBA is going to find out real quickly here what an NBA is going to be like without Steph and LeBron in the limelight. But no, I don't think that's going to happen. JD, gotcha. Did we get it? Did we get it, guys? Did we get it? I see people in the chat saying that we got it. Boom. 6,000. 6,000 subscribers. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Without you, me and John literally don't do this. I mean, we started one day and we had no clue what the hell we were doing. But to get to 6,000 subscribers and, you know, for just a Padres page and only really doing, you know, post-game content and, you know, we do stuff in the off season, but not as much on the wrap-up show page. Very impressive. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. Obviously, the next goal now is 7,000. So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to now 7,000. 6,000 giveaway. That's a good idea. I like that idea. I might do something like that. I definitely know when we hit 10,000 subscribers, it will be a big time thing that will give away a bunch of stuff. But no, I'm not doing Tito's. Right. John missed 6,000. Soft. I might do a bobblehead giveaway. I might. We'll see how it goes. I like when John's here and then we can like collaborate and figure out stuff because it's just nice to have a partner that actually cares. Nah, I'm just kidding. He does care. But thank you guys. Appreciate it. I'm not doing a 6K shot. I'll pretend. There we go. 6K shot. I don't have any alcohol in my house because Aaron's not drinking any alcohol until the wedding. Neither am I, except for when we went out the last 2 nights. But anyway, that's awesome. That's great. Thank you guys. Appreciate you all. Again, if you haven't hit the like button, we're trying now to get to 7,000 subscribers. We just passed the 6,000 mark. You guys are awesome. No wrap-up show tomorrow because the game's at 10 a.m. So we will be doing our, I guess, wrap-up show during John and Jim. So tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. for like a John and Jim / Padres wrap-up show, 3-hour extended version with other sports that we'll be talking about as well. But tune in tomorrow, John and Jim on the radio, San Diego Sports 760, iHeartRadio app. But more importantly, go to our John and Jim YouTube page, hit the subscribe button there. You can watch all of our shows 3 to 6, Monday through Friday. So hopefully the Padres will get a sweep tomorrow. Hopefully the Padres will win their 4th straight game in a row. And hopefully at 3 o'clock on John and Jim, we are talking about a 5-in-1 road trip. That would be fantastic. Next wrap-up show will be Friday night. And then John will be back Sunday night for a wrap-up show because he's getting back, I want to say Friday night-ish. I don't know exactly when he's coming back, but me and John will be back together on a wrap-up show on Sunday. So our next wrap-up show will be on Friday night after the Padres and Blue Jays game. But until then, have a great rest of your night, everybody. Peace out. Bye. Bye-bye.